All right, well, hello, everybody. Welcome to your homework. That's right, we are going to review your homework, hopefully a little bit quicker than what we normally do in class, and make sure everybody is doing their J-O-B, their job, and we are all on the same page on order of operations. So tomorrow you will rip the face off of that test because everybody will get an A. That's the goal. So let's see how we did. So we're going to make our corrections to anything that's incorrect. And anything that was correct, we're just going to box it up and list our steps. So first, as I look through number one, I see two sets of parentheses, but this one, I have an operation to do. This one, there is no operation to do. It's just a -3. So I don't have to worry about that one right now. I want to worry about this little fella right here. So then I say -15 plus 9. That is, in fact, -6. So far, so good. Copy everything else down. That looks good. Then I move on to exponents. Now, there are two sets of exponents, so I'm going to work from left to right. And I say 2 to the third. That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So I look back down here, and then I say, oh, no, we have a problem. 2 to the third isn't 6. Seems like this person maybe added their 2's instead of multiplied. So this is already, we know it's incorrect. And we've already found problem number 1, and that was this 6 right here should be an 8. So let's just move over to the side, and let's correct it from here on out. So -6 times 8 divided by 4 minus a -3 to the third power. So that looks better. And then we'll go over here and finish up our last set of exponents. Recopy, -6 times 8 divided by 4 minus, and then you have to think, -3 in parentheses to the third power. That's -3 times -3 times -3. So I know 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And a negative times a negative is positive, and then that positive times a negative is going to be negative also. So this should be a -27 right here, which if you can see right here, they're missing a minus sign because this is just -27, and it should in fact be minus a -27. This minus carries down. This minus comes from multiplying 3 negatives together. All right, so then we'll just take it on our own from here on out. We've got multiplication, so let's go ahead and multiply. -6 times 8 is -48. A negative times a positive is negative. Copy everything else down. And then we go to the division. -48 divided by 4. A negative divided by a positive is negative. And then 48 divided by 4 is -12. And then bring down the rest of your subtraction problem. Just like so. And then you say immediately, oh, Mrs. Rigler, anytime we subtract, we should rewrite it as an addition problem. And I would say, very good, you're correct. So let's rewrite this as an addition problem. So we add the opposite. So that's 12 negatives plus 27 positives. I've got more positives, so guess what? My answer is positive. How many more positives are here than negatives? Well, you can do 27 minus 12, and that is 15. So we get an answer of positive 15, which is correct. There you go. So 2 mistakes. Well, technically, 3 mistakes were made. One of them was 2 to the third is equal to 8, not 6. So there's 1. We could also say that a subtraction sign, we were missing a minus sign on the 27. And then everything over here is going to be incorrect because we had an incorrect number. So there you go. This one was incorrect, and now it is perfection. Moving on to number 2. Now, if you're a smarty pants, you figured out we've already done problem number 2, and that I just made a mistake by putting the same problem on 2 different papers. So, hopefully, you determined that this one turns out to also be incorrect. Well, That's supposed to be an I. How about that? This one also turns out to be incorrect. And let's see where our mistakes were made. So first, we go to the brackets. We see subtraction, division, and exponent. So we do exponents first. And 4 squared is 16. This looks good. Just recopy the problem. And then we should do negative 32 divided by 16 next. But is negative 32 divided by 16 equal to 16? And the answer is no. So we need to redo this problem starting here, because it looks like this person subtracted first and then divided. See, subtraction's gone, division is still there. So the one of the mistakes was that the subtraction in parentheses was done before the division, and that is problematic. So let's fix it up. So we take negative 32 divided by 16, that should be negative 2. Recopy everything else, so put in your brackets, 32 minus a negative 2, and then plus 5 times 4. We finish off our brackets by subtracting, and of course you are currently rewriting that subtraction problem as an addition problem. So 32 plus 2, which is 34, plus 5 times 4, and then we go to the multiplication, which is 20, and then we add on the 34, and we get a final answer of 54. So really the main mistake was just subtracting before dividing in the parentheses or the brackets. And there you have it. All right, let's roll on down to number 3. Let's see what we got here. So first, we are going to go to those parentheses. Inside parentheses, I have subtraction and exponents. So clearly, I'm going to do my exponents first. 5 squared is indeed 25. Double check, is everything else exactly the same? And yes, it is. Next up, to the subtraction. And we're going to rewrite that subtraction as an addition problem. So we get negative 15 plus negative 25. That means I have 15 negatives, and I'm going to add 25 negatives. So I'm going to get a total of 40 negatives, which is in fact correct. Then between subtraction and multiplication, which is right here, I'm going to multiply. A negative 40 times a positive 6 is negative 240. That's correct. Bring down your negative 32. And now the last step, I have negative 32 minus a negative 240. So that means I have to add the opposite. So this is negative 32 plus 240. I have 240 positives, 32 negatives. Which do I have more of? I have more positives, so my answer is positive. How many more? Well, to figure that out, I'm just going to do 240 minus 32. Borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down your 2. So I get a positive 208. So the steps that we did were exponents. Well, exponents in, I'll change that a little bit. We had exponents in parentheses first. Then we did subtraction in parentheses. Then we did multiplication. And then we did subtraction. And there you go. There are all your steps. All right, number 4, the final problem. Again, to the parentheses. So let's go in our parentheses here. Negative 6 plus 22, that is 16, which is correct. 22 positives, 6 negatives. I have more positives. Then the next thing I want to do, I have either subtraction, multiplication, division. I'm going to multiply next from left to right. So I need to do 7 times 16. Well, that means I'm going to have to do a little scratch work over here because I don't know that off the top of my head. 6 times 7 is 42. Carry the 4. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 4 makes 11. So that must be 112. And I don't see 112 down there, so that means something was mistaken. It looks like they did division right here before multiplication. So there's a mistake. Division and multiplication were not done left to right. So, nothing to do but fix it. So let's jump over here, and we have negative 46 minus 112 divided by negative 2. Whoops, not negative 8. I looked at the wrong line. Looked at the wrong line, everybody. Negative 2. There we go. All right, now subtraction or division, and I go to division. So I have negative 46 minus, and I take 112 divided by negative 2. A positive divided by a negative is negative, and 2 goes into 112 56 times. All right, in our very last step, we've got subtraction. So that means obviously you want to change that to an addition problem. So if I have 46 negatives and 56 positives, that means I have more positives, so my answer is positive. How many more? I have 10. So I should have gotten an answer of positive 10. So again, number 4 is also an incorrect work, and mostly because that main issue was the multiplication and division weren't done from left to right like they should have been. So there you go. You should have in front of you a 100% perfect paper that you have corrected with your colored pen or pencil, and we can move along. So hopefully you've gotten all your questions answered. If you don't, ask them now. See ya!